everything I ever knew about RV was like Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation pulling into the suburban home in a rusty, falling apart RV. So I had this image of RV being that.
Their tenement on wheels.
The tenement on wheels, that's right.
When we were looking for our house, we really wanted something big. We wanted a big yard and we wanted a big house because we were expecting our 4th child, and we had a 1, 3, and a 5-year-old. So that was a high value to us, was to have something big that we could grow into. That was kind of our rationale.
And I remember thinking that we should stretch to get the biggest house that we could for our money. And even if it was stretching a little bit, you know, down the road as income increased, we'd grow into that. So that was the thinking, get the biggest house that we could for the money.
But it was interesting how after we started taking missions trips, how our thinking began to change. So in 2014, we went to Rwanda together, and in 1994, Rwanda had experienced a genocide where 1 million+ people were wiped out in a matter of like 3 months. And still the country bears scars from this. And so that experience was really incredible for us.
I remember we were taking the van that we were in a couple hours away from Kigali, the capital, into these small villages, and along the roadside there'd be these little kids carrying these jugs because they had to walk so far just to get water. The poverty, the way that they lived, and then when we got into the villages to see the housing conditions, like what a one-room shack, if you will, and not everybody had a tin roof. It was just very different from what we were used to here.
And so we came back home from that trip, and we really just had a sense that we wanted to do more missionally.
And so that was Rwanda, and then the next trip we went on together was Belize.
So the area that we were at in Belize was not on the coast, not where there's tourism. It was the poorest district in the country. We're in the middle of the rainforest. When you get into the rainforest, it is hot, it is muggy, it is sticky. It's very easy to get heat exhaustion.
There's no wind, there's no breeze.
No, and these people, these amazing, amazing people, so many of them live in thatch roof homes with dirt floors. I remember going into one home and they literally had only a chair and a hammock hanging from one wall to the other, and that was it for their possessions. The kids that we encountered in Belize were ready to jump out of their skin with joy and excitement when we would bring them stickers or balloons, and just huge smiles on their faces, so excited for attention and love, and it was just delightful to be around them. And I think that our experience in these two countries that first year, it created like something pivotal in us.
Yeah, so we came back not just from the Rwanda missions trip and the Belize missions trip. We came back from both of those, and we sensed that God was calling us to do something, to take a step towards downsizing.
Yeah.
And that's when we had a little family chat with the kids, and we told the kids, all right, hey kids, there's a lot of kids in this world who have nothing, who have so little, and so we're going to do a little family experiment. You remember this?
Yes.
And we called the kids together, and we said, all right, for the next 30 or 60 minutes, we want you to go collect every toy that you have. Every toy in every closet, every drawer, every shelf, every room. Go throughout the house, every toy, and bring it down to the basement. And they made a pile. It filled up. It was huge.
It was a good sized pile that they left in the basement.
It was like 12 feet tall.
And we might be exaggerating a little bit, but they had a good sized pile of toys in the basement, and we left it there for about a month of no toys.
No toys.
And we didn't really know how that would go, but we were delighted to see the kids play together more,
Yep.
to use their imaginations more, to go outside more. there was no fighting over who got this toy or that toy because the toys were gone. And so we really witnessed them play together with a lot more joy and happiness. There was just a lot less conflict. We did the experiment with the kids with toys, but then I also decided we're going to downsize wardrobes. And so I had the kids pick out 10 winter shirts and 10 summer shirts and so many pairs of jeans or pants and so many pairs of shorts, and really tried to whittle down the wardrobe and give things away. And that seemed to help quite a bit too. But even as we were thinking about our housing situation, we had this big, beautiful yard, and we're grateful to have it, and we're grateful that the kids can run around in it, but it's a lot of work. And we have this big, beautiful house, and we're thankful that we can show hospitality and have people over, and we enjoy it, but at the same time, it can be overwhelming. And so there was just this stirring, I think, in our hearts of maybe we need to consider doing something different.
So as we were thinking about possible changes for our housing situation, I remember first exploring a farm. Wisconsin has beautiful farmland, and I remember even taking the kids out one afternoon to look at different farms for sale. After that, we were thinking of, well, maybe we would buy a hobby farm that's already new or already operational. We thought about maybe starting a homestead, and did a lot of research on, living off the land and raising chickens and goats and making our own cheese.
And you might be thinking, but those are not smaller than what you already have. And that's true. But I think another thing that had kind of stirred in us through these trips was we're seeing people live off the land, and a desire to kind of also live maybe a little more naturally. And so I enjoy gardening. We enjoy being outside. Joe has gotten into hunting and fishing and enjoying the great outdoors since we've lived in Wisconsin. And so those things were kind of simultaneous. So this was all playing into our thinking.
So we said no to those bigger things that would be more work, and we started thinking smaller. What could we do that was smaller? And what was the first thing? It was a cabin in the woods. Yeah, so I got books on how to build a log cabin, and
he spent a lot of time reading those.
Time reading those books, and making design plans for, well, how small of a cabin. Then we realized, there are companies that actually manufacture tiny homes on wheels, and they're called RVs. And so that is where we spent our time. I remember I first got introduced to the RV lifestyle because I was researching tiny homes, and a couple videos down on YouTube was Keep Your Daydream, and it was Trish from Keep Your Daydream doing a tour of their RV, and that was the first look I ever had into an RV. Everything I ever knew about RV was like Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation pulling into the Suburban home in a rusty, falling apart RV. So I had this image of RV being that.
Their tenement on wheels.
The tenement on wheels, that's right. and so that started our journey of exploring an RV lifestyle and what that would mean, and that was the start of that.
Right. And so that is how we got from here to here in our thinking.
So this is not a video series on how to do an RV lifestyle. There's a lot of great YouTubers out there producing great content for that. We happen to be choosing the RV lifestyle, but this is really a series on how to do life deliberately. How to make choices about housing and finances and stuff. How to make some radical choices. How to make some different choices. Now, the RV lifestyle may not be for you. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe for you the lifestyle is sailing, or living in a tiny home, or building a cabin in the woods, or even living in a suburban home. Whatever your lifestyle is, how do you do life deliberately? That's the question we are asking ourselves, and that's the question we would encourage you to ponder as well. How do you do life deliberately?
What we would like to do is be able to connect with you. You get to see our journey here and how we are attempting to step out in faith. But we would love to hear about your journey. What is God doing in your life? What are those areas where He is challenging you? And we can all be doing life deliberately together as we share our experiences. We can pray for each other and encourage one another on this journey of life.
lot of Americans missed what was happening in Rwanda because it was the same time as the O.J. Simpson thing, where O.J. Simpson was driving in the... There's a car, there's a truck, just slowly going by. And I remember thinking that...
Here they come again.
We're talking about serious stuff here.
I think they enjoy riding around in that thing.
I've got like a four-wheeler. The guy drives around, picks up trash. I didn't know it was
And
trash
a
hour.
golf cart.
Is it a golf cart?
No. It's Polaris.
We don't see this four-wheeler driving around at all
No, just now.
until we're ready to record. And this is what, the fourth, the fifth pass now? Right in the background. It's going in the complaint letter.
No respect for filming at all.
The RV lifestyle stinks.